to be up and doing. Somebody has to face the facts. And they are refusing to face the facts. So now you go around and you find Amnesty as the carrot. That would not solve the problem.
That's not a carrot for you, or that cannot be a carrot for you.
It's definitely not going to be a gun, because the committee will not come up and tell you, continue. You have this military thing going on, JTF, is it? Now these task forces, whether it is in Kaduna, Yobe, or Borno State, all amounts the same thing. Already the people's mindset has been clearly set on the fact that the money involved funding this JTF is enough cause for whether it is the military or the security forces to continue creating this bombing and this killing scenario, to make it relevant for them to be there, for those programs to continue. Now, how do you beat it? Who goes to the federal government and twists their arms and say, how much money do you give and what are the results? There was never a time, I kept saying, when this JTF admitted and a cry from the public that they've been meted with very unfair treatment. They have never said it that at this point, yes, we have actually misused our power.
How would you suggest then? I mean, the federal government, several times have heard the minister, especially the Minister for Information, say that they're not saying that that's the first thing you're going to offer, but they're saying it's on the table as well. It's going to be a part of the package. They're looking for dialogue first, and that if need be, Amnesty could be a part of it. Do you think that that will be a better approach?
Well, you see, you hear one thing today and you hear another thing tomorrow. I don't know, the government or the federal government or whoever it is. Now tell me, since when did you hear from the chief security officer? In the past, the late chief security officer was busy and doing. And he was telling the nation and he was telling the people who are concerned, who have mandated him to do the job he was doing, the truth. And for that he got the sack. Now this new one has come in, right from inside the palace. What has he been doing? Is he the one telling the Sultan?
You mean the chief security advisor or the chief? I'm a little confused.
The president's chief security, Azazi was then the chief security advisor. Now today, who is it? Can you help me out?
Okay.
Well, we all know who it is.
So now, what has he been doing? Is he the one telling the people, the federal government, the fact that federal government knows now?
So you say he should be more active?
That's all I'm saying. The Sultan is now taking over the chief security officer's job, if you ask me.
But the chief security officer and a host of other people have been asked to look into the ways that if Amnesty is going to be an option, they should come up with the ways to see if Amnesty is actually implementable.
Do you see some governors in the north now are asking to be on board in that committee? Does that not give you another direction as to the confusions that are now going to...
Ahmed, Sule, before we close this, let's quickly put this in, if we can actually situate this. Mohammed Yusuf, as well as the commissioner then, who also served in the cabinet of Modu Sharif, they were actually killed. And then we remembered how the commissioner was also implicated. Perhaps, maybe some of those who would have actually spoken up or given some information to the country have been silenced extrajudicially. Now, the only individual you have mentioned that is still very much around with us that can actually volunteer information is Modu Sharif. How do we go about all of that, since you're so stone sure that he should be the one who should be asking questions?
Anybody should be stone sure, because he is the chief security officer. And he was mandated to take care of all the goings-on within that period. He is the boss. He has not given us enough story to satisfy our conscience that he has given us all. There are romances with him and this sect at peacetime. When did the romance break off? Why did it break off? Even to the last minutes last few minutes of Mohammed Yusuf's life, Modu Sharif was said to be with him, even under arrest. Now, the military who apprehended and arrested Mohammed Yusuf know how to shoot a gun. You can't tell a military man how to shoot a gun anymore.
But they didn't pull the trigger.
They didn't. They handed him to the police because they were trying to observe due process. Now, the police now gets him, and then an hour or two, Mohammed Yusuf is gone. What happened? Who gave the orders? Even if some inspector gave the order, because definitely they will get down to that in their way of trying to slip out of the catch. Why should an inspector now have that power to get somebody out of?
Okay. All right, but do you support amnesty being granted to this group as it is now without their members coming forward yet?
A second choice. I have no option. If you are in a car and somebody else is driving, if he is very reckless and you have no way of stopping him being reckless, you either jump out of the car, moving car, or you wait and see what happens. So now, I never supported the amnesty thing in the first place.
And you still don't?
But since the government has decided to try that, and since we are not claiming monopoly of knowledge, we are just hopeful that what we say should be the right thing. And we've been consistent so far, so, thanks be to
Well, in closing, you have mentioned the late General Azazi, God bless his soul, how he was about this whole issue, talking, and now we have a new security officer, NSA, who you say hasn't been doing enough, I think in person of Dasuki. Now you have brought this issue of the former governor of Borno State, and you have highlighted the sequence that led to the death of his former commissioner as well as Mohammed Yusuf. What should the NSA be doing now that you say it looks like the Sultan has actually taken his job over?
Well, your guess is as good as mine, because I don't know what he was doing in the first place.
I'm asking, what should he be doing now that you have laid the cards on the table?
It's up to the president to decide. It's up to the president to decide, because President Goodluck Jonathan has too much on his table. What I expected President Jonathan to be busy doing now is, how do I make my mark in this my opportunity?
That was why
moment.
he gave the job to the NSA. So that is why I'm asking, what should the NSA be doing? Because now we have, in a way, you have drawn comparison between the late NSA and the present one. So what should the present NSA be doing?
That's why I told you, maybe the present NSA is the one telling the Sultan the things that he should be saying. Because there is no way the Sultan, if the Sultan knew, or if the Emir of Kano knew who these Boko Harams are, for God's sake, they would not waste so much time allowing people to die. The economy going down the drain.
For you, the silence of the NSA speaks volumes.
No, it's not supposed to be. He's not supposed to be silent. He owes us all a duty. We must hear from him like any other. Because even if it is on an official paper, those situations, we are in the 21st century. Nigeria is claiming so much about itself, and yet nothing to show for it.
Well, Ahmed Sule is the National Secretary General, Iowa Youth Consultative Forum. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you very much, James.
We're back in just a moment here. Join us again.